Hi, this is Dan Smith coming to you live once again from my home office here in Boise, Idaho. And today I wanted to take a few minutes to make this video for you and teach you what the number one limiting belief is. I can't do it. You know, one of the major things that hold people back from growth in life is the attitude that it is impossible. The attitude that says, I can't do it, therefore it can't be done. We have a tendency to hold ourselves back by believing that other people have talents that they were born with and abilities that we didn't get and that we could never develop. The average person is very quick to tell you all the things that can't be done, and all the while someone else is out doing it. So the fact is that we were born with equal opportunity to excel in some area of life by developing our skills and our abilities. Yes, it is true that there are those who are born with mental and physical disabilities, but for what would be considered most average people, we all have the ability to develop different skills that we don't currently have. You can, through achieving goals, develop certain talents and skills that will carry you to the achievement of anything that you desire. I know of a young man named Patrick who was born with cerebral palsy. He spends all of his time in a wheelchair. He can't go to the bathroom by himself. He can't brush his own teeth. He can't comb his own hair. He can't eat. He can't even he just can't take care of himself. Somebody else has to do that for him. Sometimes he even has to have the saliva pumped out of his mouth because he can drown in his own saliva. And it's very laborious for him to even communicate. But you know what Patrick did? He went to college and he learned how to use a computer. He has a brilliant mind, and he has a job now. He works for the federal government in Homeland Security. I recently spoke with his mother, and she said that she didn't even know what he does because it's top secret. You know, he could tell her, but then he'd have to kill her, right? So, anyway, do you ever look at a situation or something that someone else is doing that looks really interesting to you? You'd love to do it, but you'd say to yourself, gee, you know what? I wish I could do that, but I can't. Stop. Ask yourself, number one, why do I believe that I can't? Number two, is there a remote possibility that I could be wrong? Number three, is there a rational reason for this belief? Could I be mistaken in that belief? Number four, ask yourself, how can I do this? And then get a piece of paper and a pen and begin to list the ways that you could possibly do the thing that you want to do. Through a shift in your attitude, you will find that, you know what, you can do it. That there is a way, but you just haven't thought of it yet, or you haven't discovered it yet. So remember, if someone else is doing it, then we at least know that it can be done, that it's not impossible. And if it is not impossible, then you just don't know how to do it. And if you move forward, you can discover a way to do that. So we all have the common mistake of comparing ourselves with other people. This is not fair to ourselves because we usually compare the other person's strongest point with our weakest point, and we widen the gap to the maximum, and that gives ourselves a feeling of hopelessness. Do you know why so comparatively few people attain their objectives? It is because they have a tendency to look at the things that other people have done in terms of a whole unit, not in terms of the components that make up the whole unit. One man is very wealthy. He owns a business that makes a lot of money for him. He has a mansion. He has cars that are expensive, and his yard is well groomed. He takes expensive vacations. He eats at expensive restaurants and has what appears to be a life that is totally free of hassles. Another man's poor. He rents his house because he can't afford to buy one. He eats fast food restaurants, and he never takes a vacation because he can't get the time off down at the plant. Every few years, the plant shuts down for a few weeks due to either the lack of work or because the plant goes on strike, the workers goes on strike, and each time it does that, it freaks him out because he doesn't know what to do next, and he ends up living on his credit cards. He looks at the wealthy man and he envies him, but he knows that he could never do what the wealthy man has done. So he just muddles through life, broke, scared, and hopeless. Why? Because he looks at what the wealthy man does as a whole unit. He sees the end product. So how did the wealthy man become that way? Well, he did it gradually over time. He started out with a small idea that he could do on the side at night when he got off work down to plant. Yeah, he used to work the same plant where the poor man works. He also worked on weekends. He spent what little time that he had and what little money that he had to buy books, and he read books, and he improved his mind. He listened to audios on successful people in the time when he couldn't read books, like times when he was driving his car. This was all done just to increase the knowledge, what he knew in his mind. And he saved his money. It began to grow. As it grew, it gave him the opportunity to do more because he could afford more expensive tools. He expanded his territory. Over time, he finally came to the day when he could no longer afford to give his time down at the plant. He quit working there so that he could devote full time in his own business. There came a time that his mind had grown to the point that the plant could no longer hold him. He paid attention to the details of his life. He took responsibility for his decisions. Today he is a successful businessman, and most people envy him. But look at the steps that led up to his success. And it is not anything that most people can't do. It's just that most people won't do it. So they look at the successful man as if he's an anomaly and that he has done something that is impossible to do, never realizing that the same struggles that they have are the same struggles that he had. He just chose to ignore the struggle and to claim the victory. Listen to this poem. He worked by day and toiled by night. He gave up play and some delight. Dry books he read, new things to learn, and moved ahead success to earn. He plodded on with faith and pluck, and when he won, others called it luck. The fact is that when most people were watching television, he was working. When most were sleeping, he was reading books. He got up early. He stayed up late. He worked into the night. Today, he doesn't have to do that because now he makes a lot of money because of the business that he has built. But the average person looks at the successful person and says, there's something wrong with that. He shouldn't make that much money. It is because they are jealous, but they are not willing to do what he has done to acquire his success. So what great thing would you like to do that right now looks impossible? Ask yourself, how can I do it? Begin to list the steps that it would take the action, and who knows, maybe someday someone else will look at you with envy and say, gee, I wished I could do what that guy does, but I know I never could. Now, if you are in a place of the poor man today, and you are looking for a way of escape, or possibly you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired of the struggle to make ends meet. If you feel like you're drowning and that life's oxygen is being sucked out because you're always a step behind on your finances. Or possibly you're at the other end of the scope. You find yourself in a position that you make good money, but your time is not your own. You have to sell your soul to the company that you work for, and you never have any time for yourself. You miss the kids' birthdays, you miss plays at schools, and you have just an empty feeling in the pit of your stomach all the time because you know that you're a pawn in a game that you didn't want to play. Then click on the link below this video. Enter your email address and watch the video on the next page. Watch that video and learn how you can take control of your life. Take action, and I'll see you at the top. This is Dan Smith. Make it a great day because after all, you deserve it.